Welcome to Tony's online tuning class. Our hope is to help you make positive changes in your life with these recordings by providing you with guided messages from Spirit. This tuning class will give you the means to enhance your energy through the use of tuning forks, crystals, meditation, and distance healing. These energy-driven classes do not alter or shift your energies, but to help you release outdated thoughts and beliefs from your past to help you feel lighter. So sit back, relax, and enjoy your vibrational growth with us. We're working on the high heart today. It basically vibrates to the color of green or blue or both. A little bit of Mediterranean in us. Anybody there that is Mediterranean based, you're going to love this class. This is an amazing chakra. Whenever we have major impacts in not only ourselves but in society, this particular chakra really gets a momentum because it basically talks about the inner part of you, your self-love. And that's really what it comes down to. That's going to be the main theme for this class. How you appreciate yourself, how you love yourself in different ways. Is it something that people are telling you you are, and that's what you think you are, or is it something bigger and more expensive? It's two elements. The heart is, of course, the wind element, because that's where our lungs are. It is a wind element, or an air element, as some would call it. But it's also in between the heart and the throat is sound. And right in between there, it is the mixture of the two. So it's like sound and air. When something blows in the wind, like wind chimes are a great one because it takes wind for the sound to make it work. And you usually see those type of items in a tropical place. They are connected to whether it's a rattan, wind chime, but it's the wind that basically plays that instrument. And so it culminates the higher valves in your heart and your throat. It's also a thymus. A lot of them call it a thymus chakra, and that controls so many things in the body. The crystals you can use, if you have any, aquamarine is a very good one. That's the one that I'm using in this particular intention. Aquamarine has that beautiful Mediterranean blue-green color, and it's really powerful. Rose quartz is also good. Bloodstone is great. If anybody have any bloodstone, it is a great one to use if you have any cramps, any pains, any type of stomach issues. That stone is amazing as a necklace, or if you just have it in your pocket or your purse, something close to you. And green calcite is also good. Some of the affirmations that we would find in our society that would be really applicable for the subject we're talking about today, the high heart. One that I like is that you have been criticizing yourself for years and it has not worked. Try approving yourself and see what happens. That was from Louise Hay. Your greatest responsibility is to love yourself and know you are enough. Self-control is not selfish. You cannot truly love another until you love yourself. One of my favorite is, in order to love who you are, you cannot hate the experiences that has shaped you. So whatever relationship you've ever been in, that has shaped you to a certain thing. If you see it as a weakness, then that weakens you. Because somehow there's a strength in there that made you leave that relationship because you loved yourself too much. Otherwise, you'd still be there. But it wasn't enough. You wanted more, or in some cases, you wanted a lot less. Whether it was verbal abuse or whatever the experience was, it wasn't something you wanted. And so when we step away from those types of things, realize that that makes you stronger. This particular chakra is connected directly, and we hear this all the time in the news. It's hooked up directly to your immune system. People that have this particular chakra in the high heart, they get a lot more heartburn, voice disorders like laryngitis all the time. As soon as you get a cold, a lot of people, the first thing to go is their voice, if you've ever noticed. But the immune system is a big one. When we look at our immune system, I mean, we are right in the middle of COVID times, and that's all we hear about is how strong is your immune system. Yes, it has a lot to do with the foods we eat. Yes, it has a lot to do with the type of vitamins or the various things that we are doing to boost our immune system. But there's also an emotional and a spirit boosting your immune system that's very powerful. And we're going to be doing some of those today. How to boost that immune system. Shame weakens the voice. If you feel shameful about something, your voice, you ever notice you just don't feel like you need to talk or should talk because you feel embarrassed or something? So that weakens the voice. Grief and regret weakens the lungs. And of course, when we have all of those, when we have that shame and you have some grief, some regret, when you put it all in a ball, that's that area right in your chest that you feel. Have you ever heard somebody say, I got a lump in my throat? Then there's something there, but I mean, they could look at that x-ray, they won't find anything. But when you feel there's some lump in that throat, it is that energy. It's like a little pebble right inside that chakra that won't let something out. This chakra is connected to compassion, truth, not the truth that you would hear, but the truth that you feel. What is your truth? Forgiveness, or lack of it. If you don't want to forgive somebody, that could be partially what that lump is there for. Releasing of some fear, whatever the fear is. We hear this a lot. And sometimes we have to quantify because not everything is related to fear. When we look at it from different angles, we have to look at it from three-dimensionally, what fear is. And sometimes it's not really a fear, it's like a hesitation. Like when we say something is fearful, right away we go to a 10. Oh, it must be fearful for our own safety. And it isn't. Fear is just like the difference between jumping off of a diving board. It's not fearful, but you got a hesitation jumping off. If you've never dived in your life and you have to go head first, there's that hesitation. You're not fearing the water. You're not fearing the diving board. There's just that hesitation. It is a very mild fear, so we want to be able to make sure that. But the immune system, the DNA, patterns of your past life information are all stored in this particular energy center in your body. It connects to your soul body and your physical body. It's the only one of our chakras that connects the two. Before the class started, somebody talked about channeling. Somebody talked about automatic writing, or I think it was channeling. Channeling comes from the high heart. It doesn't come from the head. It comes up from the mouth because you're channeling something. And just very basically, we have a podcast on that. I think it's called Spiritual Awakeness or that. And they talk about what channeling is. And basically, it's getting your head so that it stays in the bleachers, and then all of the message comes from your heart. So you don't even know what you're about to say until your ear hears it, and then your mind says, oh, that's cool. That's how you know you've channeled, because it's not coming from your head. It is a channeling mechanism. Now, where is this helpful in our everyday life? Well, if you know what your heart really wants you to do, it's easier for us to follow. Most times our head gets in the way. And years ago, I had an amazing, amazing lady that I worked with. And her high heart was so well developed that when I asked her a question, literally within a few seconds, she would just give the answer. And then she heard it and she says, yeah, but I can't do that. The heart would suggest to get past a certain thought, or it was trying to get her to listen to her heart. And she did listen to it. But following it was the next step. Self-assurance, self-dependency. You depend only on yourself. The words resonate here very, very much. What you feel and what your head says is whether they agree or not. And if you make any decisions, it doesn't matter what it is. If it's based on fear, it's probably not the best thing. Basing it on how you feel, yeah, this is something that I really need to do, and then you do it. So don't hesitate after. Once your heart says that you need to do something, restful sleep is a big one. It aids in the healing infections and all the flus and viruses that are going on. We all need to receive love. Whether it comes from somebody else, it is actually more powerful when it comes from you. Because this center is the vocal cords to your soul. When you say it, everything changes. Last week we talked a little bit about Mansuro Emoto's work with water. Now those of you that were not here, we'll just do a very, very quick review. It is his work, and you could follow this on YouTube. It's all over the media, and it's very easy to find out the various pictures of what water looks like after you start talking nice to it. They took a bowl of water, and things like, I love you, I'm grateful for you, I think you're beautiful. And then they went through a magnetic resonance process to see what the crystallized water would look like after various words were said to it. And it's beautiful. Most of it had a mathematical precision from the golden mean. Everything had 6 sides, and it was beautiful. It looked like diamonds. And then water was also mistreated. It was said that it was disgusting, that it was fat, and a lot of other words that I don't want to give any respect to. And they put that under the microscope, and it had no shape. The essence of the work is that water can be programmed, and water is listening to everything you're saying. Those of you that are Reiki masters, or people that have worked with energy, and I know some of you are very advanced, you already know that if you take a glass of water, and before you consume it, if you talk to it and saying, thank you so much for this water, because this could have been in a car wash. This water could have been used to wash a dog, could have been used to wash the street. But I'm blessed that it's going to be nurturing my body in a few minutes. And for that I'm grateful. The water picks that up, and as you consume it, it's actually more powerful because you program it yourself. This is fact. This is scientific fact. Reiki masters have known this for many centuries. And people with energy, scientists are just seeing this now. In essence, you can program water and it's listening. And what is 80% of your body? Water. So when you talk nice to yourself, it's not only the words that you hear yourself, but you are programming the water to be like diamonds if you talk nice to yourself. And it is this center that when you talk nice to yourself, that it amplifies it even more. And right on the heels of that, your immune system goes straight through the roof. You don't get colds. You don't get the flu. Because you're programming your whole body for success, and it becomes stronger. Your body knows exactly what the world is going through. It knows everything. And when we talk nice to ourselves, does anybody know why our immune system goes right up and right through the roof? Because it's already scientifically proven. But do you know why, from an energetic perspective, when we talk nice to ourselves? Because you are no longer clobbering yourself. we do more damage to ourselves than other people can do. It's a proven fact that if a comment takes 10 seconds, and we've covered this in previous classes, if a comment takes 10 seconds for someone else to say something like, I don't think you're worth anything, you're never going to amount to anything, you're dumb, you're whatever, a whole bunch of things. And let's say that takes 10 seconds from its original time. Spirit says the damage isn't caused by the 10 seconds that takes for you to hear that and try and process that in that time. The damage is mostly caused by the thousands of times that you replay it in your head. It's the repetition, and you're doing it. So you're almost playing this record, you're almost playing this recording each time. There are ways energetically that we can sort of get that out of our system, but somehow we keep it in there. And so the question is, why? I don't need an answer, but it's a question you can ask. Why do I still have this recording? If it helps you, keep it. If it makes you stronger, Spirit says keep it. If it makes you more free, and if it puts a smile on your face, those you keep. And pretty much everything else you can let go. It's not serving you. There's no need to stand in line to put yourself back. There's a lot of other people that will judge you, that'll do that in society. So that's why the immune system goes right up through the roof when you talk nice to yourself, because it's one less person that is hurting you. And since you have the most of the power within you, you veto every other person that would do that. We see this a lot with some of the studies they've done with families, that children have received almost no love whatsoever, whether it's physical or mental abuse or verbal, whatever it is, and they've received no love. And at a certain age, they say, okay, I'm going to start loving myself. Those that get through all of that and start working on themselves, then they're compared with people that have always received an affirmative reaction whenever something that they did, and they were always petted on the back and everything else, and they were celebrated all the time by others. When you do it yourself, when they compared the two of them, it was almost the same. In other words, just because you're not hearing I love you from someone else, the fact that you can say that I appreciate myself, I appreciate my body, I appreciate everything I'm going through, I appreciate the strength I have because it's natural. I have this ability already, and I'm grateful for it. When you say that, it vetoes 20 people that'll talk negatively about you. So you have your words to yourself are very precious. Don't waste it on putting yourself down. So the moment you can turn it around and say, I've been through a lot. In one of the trauma series, there's a little excerpt that I love. And some of the people that go through trauma, we look at it from two perspectives. You could say, in the first instance, that I have gone through a trauma. Everything happens to me. I am a victim. That is one way you could look at it. Or you could say, I have been through a trauma and I was involved in that trauma. When you are involved, it sounds a little different, doesn't it? Rather than you think that the whole world is against you or that you're a victim. You don't put yourself in a victim mentality if you were just involved in an accident. If you didn't cause it, you were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's it. It is different because then the trauma is looked at in a different way because you're not also in line saying, yes, I am no good, and yes, I am a victim. I deserve this. One of the things that we see is that The level of love that you're willing to receive is directly proportional to the love that other people are giving that you won't say anything about. I'll give you an example. If you feel that nobody should love you, that proportion of love that you don't think you deserve, other people can abuse you to that point and you will say nothing because they haven't gone past the same line that you did. The only time you will speak up is if they've passed that line and then they say, oh, well, that's not appropriate, because you are the one that's setting that line in the sand. When a person loves themselves so much and a person goes just past it, something like, are you sure you want to wear that dress? Or what happened to your hair? And all of a sudden it's like, why would you say that? They've crossed the line and it's so light. And you wonder, how come with some people I could be so almost brutal and they won't say a thing? And some other people I have to be so careful because they're such a polished lady, or they just like themselves, they're always dressed nice, and they just have this feeling about themselves that they want to look good. So their tolerance is going to be much different. That's why they say something, because you've crossed that line with that person. So it's directly proportional. So the moment you start talking nice about yourself, your tolerance level will not be the same. You will not tolerate other people to treat you worse than you treat yourself. And that's where this center really starts to speak up, this high heart. So the moment you start loving and talking really nice about yourself and how great you are and all the things that you could do, then other people, there's no way that they're going to be able to treat you the same way as they used to. You'll speak up right away because they've crossed that line. That's how you'll know. When they say something like, I used to do a lot less and it never bothered you. That is your affirmation that you're growing and you're developing your insides, because your tolerance level is not as high. Those of you that are here for the first time, I want you to envision facing a mirror and looking into your eyes and to see if you can say, I love you, just in your mind as you're going through the meditation, and see how you feel as you're doing it. If you feel awkward, that's okay. If you feel good, that's okay. Just see if you could push that limit of looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, I love you. That's the first one, if you want to write that one down. On top of that, those of you that have been doing this a few times, I'm going to give you something else to do. Color breathing. You're going to breathe in the color green so you can pretend you're in a beautiful meadow. And you're breathing in this beautiful green energy around your heart. And when you exhale, you're exhaling the color blue, like a sky blue, Mediterranean blue. So in green and out for blue. Now, when you do that, and if you could do that at the same time as you're looking into the mirror, when you talk, then I want your speech to go from your lips down to the top of your heart, because really that's where you're going to have the most impact. Whatever comes out of your mouth is from your head. Whatever comes out of your high heart comes from your heart. So if you can say I love you from there, that's huge. If we can just do that today, that's massive. If you start coughing, sneezing, clearing your throat, you just hit a gold mine, because something in your throat is now loosening up, and love, that's high energy vibration, is loosening that up. So definitely cough it out, clear your throat, have a glass of water beside you, bring it down, that sort of thing. A lot of people will sneeze or cough. There'll be some kind of throat thing going on. Note that what you're doing is working. Also, I want you to think about as many things as you can of all the things that you love about yourself. I'll give you a few of them just to sort of get you going. I love the way my body heals itself. Whenever I cut my hand or any part of my body, it is so high vibration that while I'm looking at it, I could see the blood clotting, and I could see almost that it's healing while I'm looking at it. I love that about my body. I have a good sense of humor. I have a great disposition with other people in the sense that if somebody is talking about something, I can get right into the conversation and I'm fully there for somebody. I'm not thinking about if I have a roast in the oven. I'm fully there. That's why I don't look at the clock. When somebody talks, I'm totally with that person. I love that about myself. Things like that. What do you love about what you would do? And as you're thinking about those, if you're clearing your throat, and again, the same idea, you feel like coughing or sneezing, just do it because it is something that's coming out. Have a glass of water beside you as we're doing this because you might need this just as we're going through it. And we're going to set up for the meditation. Those of you that are new, find a nice place to sit. Get comfortable on a sofa, on a chair. If you feel like lying on the floor with a yoga mat, that's fine. Whatever's comfortable that you could sit for about 20 minutes. I will be sending you energy from here. We just need to channel it in such a way so we're going to be sending you light into this high heart area to help you open it up. It is the voice to your soul, basically. And I want to talk to you about how amazing you are and how beautiful and powerful you are. If only you can see what I see in all of you. I don't see the outside. I really honestly don't see the outside of people. I see the inside of people. And I only always wish if somehow you could see it. Take a nice deep breath. Breathe in the color emerald green. And when you exhale, exhale the color blue. Sky blue, beautiful Mediterranean turquoisey blue. We're going to set an intention. May the power of this tuning give the souls that have connected to us a higher vibration than they are presently going through. And anything that changes, alters, or shifts in their energy, make it gentle and kind. And spread the effects over the next couple of days so that it can slowly work through their system. We know how powerful this system is. Our ability to appreciate ourselves and know that nobody, but nobody, can put us down. Because we will always get up. Because we will love ourselves so much to move forward and to think highly of ourselves. When the music starts, I want you to start with the mirror. Look yourself in the mirror with your eyes closed. And just for a moment, I just want you to just look at yourself. Not what you see, but what you're hiding. You have nothing to be shameful for. You have nothing to hide. And then just say, I love you, I forgive you, and then just work it that way. And from there, just let your energy keep going. And we'll see you in about 20 minutes.
want you to slowly come out of the state that you're in. Keep your eyes closed. Before you leave this energy, I want you to turn to the mirror again. And one last time, I want you to smile as you're looking at yourself, with a feeling of being impressed of who you are. That you're strong. If you wouldn't be strong, you would not be here. Say, I love you, if you can. I appreciate all my talents. I appreciate how my body can keep up and heal so quickly. And thank you for your heart. So thank your heart for being in your body. It's the only organ that is connected. Actually, remotely, it beats to the rhythm of the universe to keep you here, so other people can see what an angel looks like. Tell yourself that if it would have been an easier trip, the energies would have sent someone else. They sent you because you get the job done. Take a nice deep breath and mentally come back into the room that you're in. But with one exception, this room has been placed in a tropical place. And the ceiling and the roof has been removed. So when you look up, all you'll see is open sky. The bluest sky you can think of. And as you look up, you feel a raindrop on your forehead. Then another raindrop on your shoulder. And yet another on your thigh. And it's really starting to pick up. And you're hearing the sounds of rain throughout all of the areas of this room. And as you look around, it's really pouring to such a degree that you can see water running down the walls, over your pictures, over your tables, your chairs. If you're lying on a sofa or on a bed or on the floor, it's being soaked. The floor is soaked. The carpet is soaked. But it's a warm rain. It's almost like a very warm shower. It's quite invigorating. And as you look to one side of the room, you'll see a large opening in the floor, about the size of a garbage can lid, where all the excess water is flowing into it, taking with it everything that you've released in this session. All the regrets, whatever shame that might have been there, any grief, any lack of love, anything that you expected from someone else to do is now being washed away. You won't have to address it again. It's clear in this room with this intense water. Now you're hearing the rain slowly subsiding, becoming less and less. And it's almost going down to a drizzle. And all of a sudden, the rain stops. Then you look around the room, and you still see the excess water running down the walls of whatever was left from the rain, dripping off the tables and the chairs. And you're soaked. And then the sun comes out. It's high noon. It's right above you. It feels like you're in the desert almost, because it floods this room with the most magnificent light, warm, and anything the light touches practically instantly dries. In a few moments, the walls are dry. The pictures are dry. The tables and the chairs, the floor is bone dry, the carpet is dry. And everything on your desk, if you had one, is also dry. It's almost like it never happened. With one exception. The only thing that was in the shade was your back, or your side, however way you were lying. So if you're lying down, just in your mind, you don't have to do it physically, but just in your mind, see yourself rolling over so that the shaded part of your back is exposed to the sun. If you were sitting, position yourself so your back is facing the sun. But sometimes these energies comes out of our back. And so you're just transmuting any energies that might have happened. Take a nice deep breath. Then you can sit back down or roll back over, because that area that was just wet a moment ago is now dry and warm. And slowly bring yourself back into the room. Nice deep breath. Try and remember what you felt, what you saw. Who was actually looking back at you in the mirror? Some people would see a different person. Some people would see a younger person. Some would not see anyone at all. But giving love to any part of that is huge. Take a couple of more deep breaths. And when you're ready, you may open your eyes. Thank you for listening to my online tuning class. Give yourself 24 to 48 hours to process how you are feeling, which gives the body a chance to catch up on what you have cleared today. As these are powerful energy clearing classes that help relax our bodies and assist to reduce stress. If you know of anybody that could benefit from this for future classes, please spread the word. We are located on our Facebook page called Group Tuning Class with Tony, and until next time, namaste.